Welcome. In this tutorial, we're going to learn about layers. And layers was introduced in Photoshop 3.0, so it's been a while back. Now, if you don't have the layers panel visible, just go ahead and go to Windows, Layers, and as a shortcut, F7. You'll see it over here on the right. If for some reason you kind of see this configuration, just double click on Adjustments, and that'll give you more room for the layers panel. When you open up a new file, and this is the file PS Basics Layer 101, you'll have a background layer. And the background layer is indicated by the word background, and it's locked. The background is active because you see the blue here. The background is visible because the eyeball. Click on the eyeball, the background's not visible anymore. Click it again, it's visible. Now what's neat about the background layer, it's the bottomless layer. Nothing can go below it, and the background layer cannot be moved. It's stationary. So if I click and drag on background layer, try to move it, guess what happens? It snaps into place. If I click on layer 1 and try to drag it below it, nothing happens. Okay. Now you can create new layers on top of the background layer by either clicking this icon right here, click on it, and it will automatically name it layer 1. If you don't like that, you can click and drag it to the trash icon, which is next to that new layer icon. Another way to create a layer is to go to Layer, New, Layer. By choosing this option allows you to name the layers. It's always a good habit to get a name in your layers so you know which layers are which, and also there's a unique thing that you can do with the Move tool, which I'll show you later. We're going to go ahead and click this new icon again and say Layer 1. Another way to delete the layer is to right click on the layer in this blue area, not the thumbnail, not the word, and then choose Delete Layer. It will ask you if you really want to delete it. I like to keep this dialog like this, so I never click this button here, and then click Yes, and I'll delete that layer. Now this time we want to create a new layer and we want to name it. To do that, you press your Alt key and then press the new layer icon, and that will bring up that same dialog again. And we're going to call this Gradient, Gradient, and then you can just click OK or Enter, and that will name the layer for you automatically. So you're kind of doing two things at once. I'm going to select the gradient tool. I'm going to choose a gradient that I made. Doesn't matter which one you want, but maybe if you can pick the same colors, doesn't matter. Make sure that your linear gradient is selected. It's not really it doesn't matter, but I'm just showing you what I did. And then you're going to see this little cross X thing here. You're going to go to the top, click and drag. We'll talk about gradients in a later lesson, but I'm just showing you quickly. What you see here is what you're going to see on the thumbnail. So if I turn the visibility off of gradient, there's the background layer below it. Layers are like individual sheets of acetate. Okay? So you can see through each one, providing there's transparency. If there's not, then you can't see it. So for example, gradient is completely filled. There's no transparency. Thus, you cannot see the background. But if you turn off the visibility of gradient, you can see the background. You notice the gradient is active again. Why? Because it's blue. A layer can be active and not visible. Just want you to know that. So you don't get tripped up by that, is what I say. It can be a little tricky. And in the next lesson, we'll talk more about the other layers.